Jai Sri Ram friends, welcome to this week's Bharat video episode where by listening to this short story, one can absolutely get rid of the Shani Dosha. Okay? Also, the problems that comes along with that, like the money problem, relationship problem, job problem, and so on, so on, so on forth. We will recommend you to subscribe to this channel and like the page and stay connected with us by clicking the notification bell so that anytime we post a video, you are being informed. Also do know that we send out one dharmic message a day by WhatsApp to your mobile phone for free. And all you have to do is to go ahead and send us a WhatsApp message to +1 647 964 4790, and with your name and where you are contacting from, you will start getting the one dharmic message every day, which you can share with your family, your loved ones, especially the children, to know about our Dharma. This story is from Mahabharat. You know that Pandavas, when Yudhisthira, the older brother, was playing the dice because of the order of his uncle, he lost everything. He lost his country, he lost all the wealth that goes with that, he lost his brothers, he lost his wife, and he became absolute pauper on that day. And Yudhisthira was very sad. Naturally, they all brothers and wife, everybody were sitting in the forest, and Yudhisthira was sitting very sad, very sad. He lost it all. He was the Samrat of Indrapradas. Now has nothing. Sitting sad. At that time, Bharadwaja Rishi happened to pass by, and he saw Yudhisthira and his brothers and with their wife, and he saw the sadness on Yudhishthira's face, and he got it. He knows what was happening. So he went and met Yudhisthira, and Yudhisthira and his brothers along with his wife welcomed him, and Bharadwaja Muni asked, "Why are you so sad?" Yudhisthira said, "I lost it all." Muni Shrestha, "What do you expect from me?" "I lost it all," he said. Bharadwaja Muni said, "Hey Yudhisthira, you didn't lose everything. You have your brothers, your wife, and your mom is safe in a place. So you are okay, you didn't lose it all," he said. In fact, think about Ramji, Sita Maya. They lost it all on one evening. In fact, they didn't lose, they gave up all in one evening, fulfill the promise given by his dad. And also about Nala Damayanti, you would have heard. He lost it all. If you are talking about a person who lost it all, he lost it all, said Bharadwaja Muni. I will love to learn about Nala and Damayanti, Muni Shrestha, because Ramji was Bhagwan himself. He can tolerate it. I want to know about a man like me who has gone through the hurdle and came out. Can you please be kind enough to say me the story about Nala and Damayanti? So Bharadwaja Muni went on to say, I am going to say you. In fact, when you listen to the story, you get free from Shani Dosha. So, hey Maharaj, along with your brothers and wife, listen to it carefully, said Bharadwaja Muni, and started the story. Nala was a prince and king from Nishada kingdom, nearby to Vidarbha, where Princess Damayanti was living. And Damayanti was so beautiful, and she was known for her beauty and intelligence. And everybody were so astonished that she used to have a small lotus on the forehead from the birth, like a mole, and that made her more prettier. And she came to an age where the king of Vidarbha was organizing a Swayamvara. In the meantime, Damayanti also learned a lot about Nala, the handsome prince and the king who was just next to her kingdom, and she started developing a love and affinity towards him, and so did Nala. for Damayanti. In fact, Nala was sending the letter of love through the spam, which will fly and give it to Damayanti and describe his love to her. And it's an immortal story. And so they both never met, and they were developing a love for each other. And in the meantime, Damayanti's father announces Swayamvara. He has given invitation to all the kings, princes in the area, brave warriors, and all the devs, devatas, everybody were invited. All the devatas were coming, and they know that Damayanti had a love affair with Nala. So they called Nala. All the devatas, the king of devatas, Indra, himself called Nala Maharaja, and he said, "Hey Nala, we are looking for a help from you. Will you do it?" And Nala said, "Yes, go ahead. I will love to do it for you gods. And what a big pleasure for me that I can be of service to you," he said. And Indra went on to say that you have to go on our behalf to Princess Damayanti and say her to marry us, he said. Nala was heartbroken. He said to Devraj Indra, "Hey Devraj, hey Devatas, I have a love affair. In fact, we both love each other and we want to get married. And in fact, I was getting myself ready to go to Swayamvar. And in the meantime, you are giving such an assignment to go and myself recommend her to marry you. How is it possible?" Then Devraj Indra said, "Hey Maharaj, you gave us a promise and you better stick with it." So Nala said that is fine, but how do I get into the Andapura, what they call, the place where Damayanti was? It was secluded in the palace. How do I get in there? Indra said, "No problem. I will give you a boon by which nobody will be able to see you. You will be able to penetrate inside her place and meet her and talk to her, and she will be able to recognize you," he said. So Nala said, "Thank you," and with a heavy heart, Maharaj Nala started going to the Vidarbha palace to meet Damayanti in her accommodation. Like Devraj Indra said, nobody could see him. He went through it and went through the palace, went through all the security guards and reached Damayanti herself. And he said, "Hey princess, Devraj Indra, other devs are so handsome," he said. Damayanti asked, "Who are you? How did you come here?" He said, "I am Maharaj Nal, and I have been sent as a messenger by the gods themselves to recommend you to marry them. And I had to say you with a full heart that they are the best. You are so fortunate that you could marry devatas themselves. They are in line to marry you. You can choose anyone you want in your Swayamvar. Nobody can match their beauty, their ability, and their divine power. So you shall marry them," said Nala. And Princess Damayanti was heartbroken. She said, "Hey Maharaj, I always wanted to marry you. I have been dreaming about you. I have been reading all your letters that you are sending. You know what? I want to say you that I will marry only you, not anybody else," she said. "So please go ahead and say the devatas that this is my decision and nobody can change." Nala went back and told to Devraj and other devatas the decision of Princess Damayanti. And devatas were not happy. They wanted to play another trick. So during the Swayamvar, all the devatas came there looking like Nala. Princess Damayanti was celebrated not only for her beauty but also for her intelligence. In the Swayamvar, all the devatas came there looking like Nala himself, and Nala was also standing there. But for Damayanti's eyes, everyone looked the same like Nala. And how do she put the mala? And immediately she realized that only one Nala in that whole crowd was batting the eyes. and rest were not. So she realized this is the human being. So she put the garland to Nala. So after the Swayamvar was over, even though the Devatas were sad, they made a decision that this is our, we have to value Princess Damayanti's decision of marrying Nala, and Nala was a good man who went and did the job, whatever was assigned to him. He didn't shortcut anything, so they were happy with him, they blessed them, and they were going back. When they were going back, Shani Bhagwan was coming, and the Devatas were asking, where are you going? Shani Bhagwan said, I am going to Princess Damayanti's Swayamvar, and everybody started laughing. Princess Damayanti's Swayamvar? You're crazy, it's already over. She has garlanded Nala and it's all over and we are coming back from there, so you can turn back. Shani Bhagwan was not very happy. He said, I give you a word, I will make sure they are not going to live together happily, he said. And I will see you later, he said, and started going towards the palace of Nala and Damayanti in Nishada. And Shani Bhagwan was sitting on the doorstep of the palace, waiting for Nala to do one mistake so that he can catch him in the most vulnerable time. But Nala, you know what, he was so humble, so righteous person. He never did a mistake for 14 years. Can you believe that? 14 years. So, Shani Bhagwan was waiting in the doorstep for 14 years, thinking he will do a mistake. And after 14th year, one day, Nala does a mistake. What is that? He comes back and from going from elsewhere, he just enters the palace and he goes to his place. Before doing Sandhya Vandanam, he just washes the feet. And by mistake, he didn't wash the back side of the feet. You see what I mean? Back side of the feet, the heel area. He didn't wash it by mistake. Can you imagine? After 14 years, this is what he could see. And he caught him right there in the heel. And he decided, he is going to go through the hell of a time now. Then one of the other kings call him to play dice. In those days, if a king is calling another king for playing dice, they have to sit and play. This was like a customary thing. That's why nobody said no, including Yudhisthira in this case. So, Nala goes to play the dice and one by one he loses all. He loses all. He becomes a pauper on that time. And so he was chased out of the palace. Long story short, he and Damayanti started walking towards a forest where nobody will recognize them. But who won't, This is a handsome couple there. Who won't recognize? So they started walking. In fact, Nala was keep on saying Damayanti that you better go back to your parents' home. Let me gain back my kingdom and I'll call you back. So that you don't need to struggle with me, he said. But Damayanti didn't like that. She said, no, I will be with you. I have been with you in the good time and I will be with you in the bad time. And I will not go, and I will go only after we gain back all the things. I will go and meet my parents, she said. But she knows that Nala's heart was always sad, that Damayanti was struggling with him. So she used to tie him with this towel, in the sari and sleep. So Maharaj Nal, along with Damayanti and the kids, were going in the forest, and he didn't want Damayanti and the kids to struggle. So he leaves them in the middle of the forest and go away. Okay? Because he knows that somehow she will find her way to reach her parents, and that's what he wanted. And he goes off. Damayanti, she was in search of Nala everywhere with the children. Then she sends the children to the parents' home, and she becomes a Shailendri, that is a makeup artist in one of the palace. And there, being a strong Mahadev devotee, she used to always pray to Shivji. She was praying to Shivji to get Nala for her. And Shivji was touched. And he said to Shani Bhagwan, "Hey Shani Bhagwan, hey Shani, why are you troubling this couple? In fact, she is one of my very core devotees, and she wants me to help her. So please leave him and go." And Shani Dev said, "Hey Mahadev, it is because of your order. I catch people for 7.5 years. Once I catch, I stay with them for 7.5 years. And at the end I will leave, but I don't know how to bring back the things for him. That is not me," he said. So Shivji said, "Don't worry about it, I will take care of it." So now Nal was roaming around, and when he was sleeping close to a bush, kings of the snake by name Karkotaka bites Nala. As soon as Karkotaka bites Nala, he becomes short, black, and all changed. His appearance changed that nobody can recognize him. In fact, Nala was happy in a way. He said, he thought to himself that nobody will recognize me now. And before he injured the Karkotaka, he started speaking and he said, "Hey Nala, because of Damayanti's prayer to Lord Shiva, I have come here to bless you and guide you. In fact, I am going to give you a piece of cloth, and when you are forced to prove who you are, you can wear that cloth and then you will regain your appearance. So don't worry about it," said Karkotaka, and handed over the piece of cloth. And he blessed Nala, saying, "All good things are going to happen for you. Keep going in this direction, and very soon you will regain your family, you will regain your kingdom. All good things will happen. So don't worry," he said, and disappeared. Now Nala started walking, and he reached a palace. And Nala was pretty good in cooking. You would have heard of Nala Maharaja. He was pretty good in cooking. In fact, he had a control on all the Panchabhutas, that without igniting fire, he can get the food boil, water, everything came in his control. And so he joined the palace of the king as a chef, and he started cooking. His cooking was so good, the king will never leave his palace without taking Nala to any place. In fact, all his friends used to come here to have food from Nala. He became very famous at that time. And in the meantime, one of the Pandits recognized Damayanti because of her lotus mole on the forehead, and she takes her to her parents and drop her in the parents' palace. So she's there. Now she makes a plan that she has to find Nala. So what Damayanti does is she called all the Brahmins in that area and give them an assignment to go village by village and find where Nala is, across the length and width of Bharat to find Nala. So these Brahmins go and they will sit below a tree and talk to the local people and say about how cruel Nala was, how he left Damayanti and went, and how they are struggling and all those things. They thought at one point of time they will be able to find Nala, and such one person reached this palace where Nala was the chef, and he was explaining how Nala was cruel to Damayanti, to the king, and all of a sudden he was hearing a weeping sound from a short fellow, and the Brahman thought maybe this could be him. So he goes to Damayanti and gives this information. So they are suspecting it could be him, and in the meantime she announces just like that another Swayamvara, where she is inviting all the kings, everybody, because Nala is not there with her anymore. This news reaches the king where Nala was working, and he wants to go to Swayamvar, but he was too late. So he is asking if anybody can take him fast. At that time, Nala offered to help him. He says, "Hey Maharaj, I can take you, you don't worry," because Nala knows the trick of how to drive the chariot in the speed of the mind. So he takes him. All of a sudden, the kings the upper cloth fall down. He says to Nala, please stop. My towel has fallen down. Can you please get that for me? And Nala responds saying, it is a long way back we have come across because I'm going so fast. And the king was astonished. So he says, what, if you teach me how to drive the chariot, I will teach you 2 tricks. What is that? He said, can you say me how many leaves are there in the tree? He says, no. The king says, I can say you, and he says the number exactly right. And he says how the whole formula works. And also, the king teaches him how to play the dice in a right way so that he can win all the time. And so Nala was okay. They both reached the palace and they went there. But what is happening weird was this king who came with Nala will not eat in their palace. He says, my cook will cook for me. That is the only food I eat. I don't eat anybody else's food. So, Nala is making food now. Damayanti sends somebody to see what is happening, and her servant maid was astonished because the air was coming in and the fire, he lights the fire without a fire, without putting the water, it is boiling because of his control on all the Panchabhutas, and she goes and says Damayanti, and Damayanti knows this is Nala. Absolutely. So she comes there, catch hold of him and says, what? You better say now, you are Nala. Yes or no? So all the people come there, they all request him, and his master king also comes there. He says, please say who you are. I know you are such a divinely person, he says. So Nala knows this is the time Karkodaga gave the cloth for. So he wears the cloth and gains back his original form. And Nala comes back. He says the story of what happened with the Karkodaga, and then the king who was appointing him as for service asked for forgiveness. He says, what, hey Maharaj, I don't know it was you. If I said anything to offend you, please forgive me. He says, no, you gave me an opportunity to work for you. That is great, so that I could live my life till I meet my family. And there in that place, this person also came for Swayamvara, who won over Nala in the past, in the dice game. So remember, when you call somebody for dice, the king has to come. That was a tradition then. Now Nala calls him to come and play the dice. And he comes and plays with him. And because he knows the trick from the master king who he served so far, the tricks of playing dice, and he could be able to win and win back the kingdom. And he gets everything. Now his family has come, his kingdom has come back. He was very, very happy. Now Shani Bhagwan comes there and says, hey Maharaja Nala, please forgive me. I know I was upset with you that I couldn't come for Damayanti's wedding. And that's why I troubled you so much. In fact, I want to say I holded you for 7.5 years. But you holded me for 14 years. I waited just in front of your palace to catch you. You are such a noble person. I couldn't even find one vulnerable time in you to catch hold of you. And I waited for 14 years. So you holded me for 14 years and I holded you only for 7.5 years, he said. And Shani Bhagwan said, hey Nala Maharaj, I want to give you a boon. Ask me whatever you want, says Shani Bhagwan. And Nala, with folded hands, said, hey Shani Bhagwan, you told me that you holded me for 7.5 years because of your vengeance. I am not asking you anything else. All I am asking you is because you caught hold of me for no reason. Anybody who hears this story, you should never catch hold of them. Ask Nala. See, even in this moment, Maharaja Nala never asked anything for him. He asked for all those things who will hear his story, and so that he can get total freedom from Shani Dosha. Shani Bhagwan was so happy to meet Maharaj with such a large heart. He said, Tathastu, so be it. This is why when somebody hears the story of Nala and Damayanti, all their sorrows goes out. Their economical problem, their relationship problem, whatever problem, job problem, all these problems were faced by Maharaja Nala, totally undeserving. And so, we wish and pray this story will bring Shani Dosha Vimochanam for you as Maharaja Nala requested, and you and your family should be blessed abundantly, exceedingly, with health, wealth, prosperity and peace. Bharadwaja Muni say this story to Yudhisthira and all his brothers and wife. And Yudhisthira with folded hands thanked Bharadwaja Muni for coming at the right time and blessing him with the story and also guiding him, saying these tough times never last, but tough people do. Yudhisthira said, "Ye Muniraj, thank you for that, and you guided me in the right path. We will never forget." Hope you enjoyed the story. Subscribe to the channel, like the page. You also subscribe to our WhatsApp to get one dharmic message a day by sending a message with your name and where you are contacting from to +1 647 964 4790. Wish you all the best. Thank you. Jai Sri Ram.